start. Alfie Gilchrist, a young defender, will start at left back. Madueke, Fernandez, Caicedo, Sterling, Jackson and Mudryk, as Mauricio Pochettino shares a joke with Daniel Farke down below. Well, Mauricio Pochettino be laughing come the end of the game. Glenn Murray.
Well, it might be a lot easier his job after this game, depending on the result, but there's, like you say, 5,300 Leeds fans to our left that have travelled a long way, and there'll be an expectancy that they can come here and turn Chelsea over, especially in the mood they're in.
And certainly the incentive for both sides is that they've got a home tie in the quarter-final draw. If you missed it, Wolves or Brighton will play Coventry City. Nottingham Forest or Manchester United will take on Liverpool, Southampton. Chelsea Leeds versus Leicester City, and Manchester City versus Newcastle United. Our referee is David Coote. He's just checking, he's making sure and ready. Every tie, by the way, of tonight's remaining fifth-round ties is live on the BBC. This obviously on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Forest Manchester United is on BBC One. Wolves Brighton is on the BBC iPlayer, and Liverpool Southampton, that gets underway at 8 o'clock, will be on 5 Live Sports Extra. But Chelsea, in their royal blue shirts and white shorts, are attacking the shed end. They're playing from right to left as we look, and I'm sure they will hope to have a comfortable night as they did when they last played Championship opposition here, when they dispatched Middlesbrough in that League Cup semi-final with ease. But as we mentioned earlier with Steve, Middlesbrough were ravaged by injury. They were very, very limited in attacking options. And certainly Leeds United will have plenty of pace and will have cut and thrust as James scampers after that ball and almost catches Sanchez. All in yellow, away towards our right-hand side. He managed to get the ball away as it's now out towards Sterling. And then Ampadu, who of course was signed by Chelsea, hardly played when he was signed 7 years ago from Exeter City. 12 appearances. I'm sure he'll have a point to prove here at Stamford Bridge as well. Yeah, without doubt, as will a certain man sitting on the bench, Patrick Bamford, who never really got his opportunity at Chelsea. He's went on to do well in his career, but yeah, always when you come across your former club that have discarded you, you always want to hurt them that little bit more, I think, Deno. Well, he's got a minor injury, is Bamford. That was a heavy touch by Disasi, comes under pressure, and then it was Matteo Joseph who was giving chase. Ampadu nicks it away from Sterling, plays the ball inside. It's certainly been a sprightly start by Leeds United in these opening 90 seconds. Probably let's just test Chelsea's resolve, I would think, was Daniel Farke's message, because they will be wounded from that League Cup final defeat. Yeah, they will. I mean, Leeds will be absolutely delighted with this tie. They'll have watched that final all in their houses on Sunday afternoon, and they'd have been delighted with the result. They'll have known they were coming to a Chelsea that were low on confidence rather than high after picking up a trophy. So as far as Leeds are concerned, they're coming up here, they're here to try and upset the party, to rub salt into the wounds and just to see what happens. It's a no-lose situation for Leeds. If they get beat here, they go back to Championship football and try to get back in the Premier League, which is their main aim. But if they can get a result, it could be the top 1 and 2 in the Championship coming up against each other in the FA Cup. They certainly wouldn't have been too upset to see Chelsea go to extra time. Ball in field, just stepping out of defence was Rodon. Ampadu helps it up towards Pirou. His forward ball to Joseph is intercepted by a tumbling Madueke as the ball, it goes out towards the far side. Chelsea with Gusto, the right back, and Leeds United being urged on by that vociferous crowd that has travelled down from Yorkshire, urging them on. BBC Radio 5 Live, 3 minutes played, Chelsea 0, Leeds United 0. I think one thing that I've noticed already about Leeds United is that how organised they seem. They all know when to jump, when to press. They're working as a unit, and that's what they'll need to do tonight to stop this individual talent of this Chelsea group, because they have got it out there. It's just about trying to knit it together. It's about how, when and who will knit this Chelsea group together, because it's got bags and bags of potential. I noticed that Matteo Joseph is the one who's leading the line. Pirou has just dropped a little bit further back. You've got James on the right-hand side, Archie Gray then in the centre along with Pirou, and Jadon Anthony on that far side, the left, and Ampadu is just sitting in front of that back four that has Liam Cooper and Joe Rodon. with Connor Roberts making his first start since he's arrived on loan from Burnley, and Firpo as the right back and left back respectively for Leeds United. And remember as well, it's got to be settled on the night. Heaven forbid Chelsea were to play for penalties.
That would be a tough week, wouldn't it? 2 extra times in how many days? 4 days? I mean, that is exactly what you don't need, especially with the injury list they've got. Already lost a number of players, namely Nkunku, who was a big summer signing, thought lots of him, but haven't quite got the best out of him. Haven't seen the best of him in a Chelsea shirt due to injury.
Disasi forward over the halfway line, out towards Gusto, far side the right. Can't help but feel those comments from Mauricio Pochettino about Sunday's final, that the team were playing for penalties against such an inexperienced Liverpool side will always go on to haunt the Argentine, who's now of course lost all 3 finals with English clubs. But no replays. They'll be settled on the night. 7:30 kickoff here at Stamford Bridge on 5 Live. 5 minutes played, 0-0. And Leeds United attacking the Matthew Harding stand away towards our right. And Chelsea, well, they've got Cole Palmer on the bench, they've got Gallagher on the bench, they've got a number of youngsters themselves. But Chelsea yet to really find any sort of rhythm in these opening stages.
I mean, we're looking at the Chelsea lineup there. I thought Sterling would actually play behind Jackson, but it isn't. It's Mudryk that seems to be in that 10 role. So it's an Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo and Mudryk triangle, and I think that is also about 300 million, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Chelsea with a throw on the right. Back it goes, Disasi. Leeds fans are in good voice in the shed end away towards our left-hand side. This, remember, is the first of 4 games in a 10-day period for Leeds United, second in the Championship table. And they've been in excellent form. They're actually undefeated in 2024. Here is Enzo Fernandez, forward ball to Sterling. Sterling on the halfway line. Just couldn't get past James. That would have been a good foot race between the two. They go back, and then it's with Trevor Chalobah out to Disasi. Gusto now forward. Strong run by Gusto. Infield, Madueke onto his left foot. Couldn't get the shooting opportunity. Tried to thread a ball through that might have just reached Enzo Fernandez had it not been cut out. Gilchrist to Sterling. Sterling short infield. Mudryk scoops it back. Sterling completely fluffs it. Tried to clip it on the half volley with his left foot inside the left channel of the penalty area and stubbed it out for a goal kick. 0-0. Glenn.
Yeah, it just come off the end of his toe, coming over his right shoulder. He's just trying to play it into that 6-yard box, into that danger area. And as he goes to kick it, he just catches it on the end of his toe, kicks it out of play for a goal kick. But that is where Chelsea will hurt you, is when Madueke comes in off that right-hand side and into that space between the defensive and the midfield lines, and that's why Daniel Farke's gone with Ampadu, just to try and block that hole up where Chelsea can really hurt you.
Long ball forward, James could get there, he lifts it goalwards and it bounces wide. It was always going wide. It was probably, 2 yards wide of the left-hand post as we look high up in the back of the main stand here. But that is an indication of the pace that James can unsettle a defence.
Well, we saw really early on in the game James getting behind Gilchrist and then putting pressure on Robert Sanchez, just purely through his pace.
Mistake again. This is Mateo Joseph. He lashes the ball in, and Leeds United add to Chelsea's miserable few days. Mateo Joseph with his first goal for the club. Delirium at the shed end with those travelling support from West Yorkshire. It's Chelsea 0, Leeds United 1, 8 minutes in.
Well, Leeds United went close. It was Daniel James who lobbed Rob Sanchez, didn't quite get his angle right, but from that, it's really bad play by Chelsea. It's a short by kick, and it's Disasi on the ball, tries to play it into, I think it's Fernandez, gets robbed inside his 18-yard box. He breaks to that young man, Mateo Joseph, and when it comes across and lets it roll across his body, hits it as hard as he can, low, down to Robert Sanchez's left-hand side, hits the back of the net, And I just don't know what Chelsea are playing at, to be honest, Deno. I mean, if there's anything you need to do when your chips are down, it's play to your strengths, get rid of it from dangerous situations, yet they've given it away in their 18-yard box. No pressure at all. Find themselves 1-0 down at home. And all the noise is from the Leeds fans, and I wonder how this Chelsea fan base is going to react in the next 5 or 6 minutes.
It was Disasi to Caicedo. They pressed in the penalty area. It fell to Mateo Joseph, and Chelsea are behind. And if they came into this game low on confidence, then that really has just compounded and added to their woe. And the Leeds United fans are jumping up and down and thoroughly enjoying this moment. There is a history, there is a rivalry that goes back many, many years. And Leeds United have never beaten Chelsea in any FA Cup tie, but they are leading by a goal to nil. Sterling with the cross. Firpo lets it go out over his head and out for a goal kick.
Well, I mean, we're looking towards those Leeds fans at our left-hand side, and they are delirious at the moment, but they would have travelled down from up north today with a real belief that they could get a victory here tonight. Without doubt, yes, they're a Championship team, but we've said they've got so much quality in their ranks still from being a Premier League team. They're trying to get back to where they once were, and at the minute they're doing it in the Championship, and they're asking questions to Chelsea here. I mean, they've not really created anything, have they, Deno? But they've pounced on a mistake, and that is what Chelsea will allow you to do when they make mistakes over and over again, simple mistakes, unneeded pressure. I mean, Mauricio Pochettino must be absolutely tearing his hair down on that touchline. Well,
this is now going to test Chelsea's resolve. They were hoping for a morale-boosting win after losing that League Cup final. And the longer that game went on Sunday, they became more and more the favourites, particularly when they started the extra time against so many youngsters of Liverpool. And now they find themselves behind against a Championship side, albeit second in the table. They were in the Premier League last year. They do have a lot of quality. However, Chelsea are a team under pressure in every sense, and they're behind by a goal to nil. Gusto. It'll test the character of these Chelsea players.
Well, there comes a point, Deno, when you hit rock bottom, and this 1-0 down in the 5th round of the FA Cup to a Championship team after losing the Carabao Cup final might just be it, and it might spark a revival from this group.
Here is Sterling. Sterling, left corner of the area. Chelsea looking for an equaliser. Sterling shot blocked. Enzo Fernandez hits it first time, edge of the area, right-footed, dragged it well off target, and out for a goal kick as Leeds United lead 1-0.
Yeah, it just falls to Enzo Fernandez on the edge of the box there, and he decided to take a snapshot as it's coming back towards him in the half volley. Catches it well enough, just drags it to his left-hand side and out. But an opportunity for Chelsea, but the desire that the Leeds players have shown. There was 3 players on Sterling there as he was entering the 18-yard box. That's what they need tonight. They need to work together as a unit and hang on to what they've got here.
Here is Chalobah. Heads it forward, falls to Fernandez, overruns it, but still able to pick up that loose ball. Forward pass towards Jackson, easily cut out by Cooper. Firpo, the left back, will play it forward. Anthony tries to lay it back inside to Firpo. They lose the ball. Gusto on that far side, the right, plays it inside. Caicedo tries to shield with his body away from Mateo Joseph, the goal scorer. Madueke can't get past Firpo. And all of a sudden there could be a break on here for Leeds. Mateo Joseph inside now, over the halfway line, holds on to it, opens the ball up, good play. Roberts has got a lot of room to run into on this near side, the right. 3 weight on the edge of the penalty area for the pink of Leeds United. I don't know why they couldn't wear white. As the ball is played out towards that far side. Infield. This is Ampadu to shoot from distance, blocked by Mudryk. Challenge comes in from Rodon. Leeds United at the minute are sharper in every aspect.
And that there is the difference for me. When you look at when that ball went up to Mateo Joseph, he made the right decision, he kept hold of it, goes up to Nicholas Jackson, he loses it.
Here is Madueke. Caicedo almost stumbles on the ball. Just already started to hear a few dissenting voices around Stamford Bridge. Enzo Fernandez, his forward ball. Mudryk makes the run off Roberts, left-hand side. 6 yards up from the byline. On the left-hand side, there's a little step over. Gilchrist is behind him, the left-back. Infield to Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez takes it away from Pirou. Back now with Chalobah. Out to Disasi, right side of the centre circle. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Leeds United are ahead. Mudryk's given the ball away. Lucky that Fernandez was behind him. Keeps it for Chelsea. Central area finds Madueke. Not really going anywhere at this stage, Chelsea. Gilchrist on this near side, the left. Madueke now will take over. Leeds United have every pink shirt back behind the ball.
Yeah, Leeds just started to sit in their structure shuffle from side to side as Chelsea pass around them, but more importantly, not through them.
Jackson, lay off by Madueke, back towards Jackson. Jackson with the equaliser. Chelsea are level within 7 minutes of conceding it, and it was a very well worked goal. Madueke, Caicedo with a through ball. Jackson inside right channel the penalty area, guided it in. Chelsea 1, Leeds United 1.
And that is what this group are capable of. We've talked about their potential. Well, right there we got a little glimpse of it. 3 players linking up, 3 passes, slick, perfect. Jackson hits the back of the net. One thing I will say is Melly will be a little bit disappointed from the angle he scored from there. It was a really tight angle, but the play to get into that position from Chelsea is exactly what we know that they can do. We just need to see it more often. Good goal by Jackson. He'll take a lot of confidence from that. And as you can hear, the Chelsea fans are back on song.
1-1. What an entertaining 15 minutes has been. There is Jackson again. Mudryk just couldn't take it in his stride, only partially cleared by Leeds United. As now James will chase the ball forward and it runs through towards Sanchez. Goal at Molineux, Tom Gale.
Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Ian, we played less than 90 seconds. It's electric pace by Jean-Ric Bellegarde down the left-hand flank. He sends the cross in. Steele doesn't deal with it. Lemina's initial effort is blocked, but he follows it through to ensure it finds the back of the net. Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
And you can watch that game on the BBC iPlayer. Nottingham Forest, Manchester United, a 7:45 kick-off. Liverpool, Southampton gets underway at 8 at Anfield. There'll be commentary of that one on Sports Extra. The match at the City Ground is live on BBC One. This is 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And now it's the Chelsea voices you can hear after that equaliser, just to settle a few nerves inside Stamford Bridge. 1-1.
One clash that I do want to keep an eye on tonight, Deno, is Gilchrist and Daniel James, because Daniel James has got pace to burn, hasn't he? I think he's got more pace than Gilchrist. Just interesting to see how the young man deals with him.
Jackson now into double figures for Chelsea since he arrived from Villarreal. Just under £32 million as Meslier, all in silver with some purple socks, will clear the ball away. Caicedo to Madueke. And good from a Chelsea point of view that they equalised relatively quickly.
Yeah, without doubt they did. We questioned them and they've reacted, showed what they're capable of, and all of a sudden we're back square and Chelsea seem to be in the driving seat now. Leeds still sat in their shape, just letting Chelsea pass around them, but probably the atmosphere's lifted around the stadium slightly.
Yeah, there was a degree of apprehension, certainly. As I said, though, that they've won all 5 FA Cup encounters against Leeds. Round 3, 1937. Round 5 after 2 replays in 1952. A semi-final in 1967 at Villa Park, and the 1970 final at Old Trafford in that replay, regarded as one of the most brutal games in English history. And if you've not seen it, I was showing Glenn the footage earlier on the BBC Sport website, then do look back. And it's staggering the amount of bad challenges. And what is even more remarkable, there was only 1 yellow card shown by the referee. We might touch upon that a little later on. To the City Ground, Charlie Slater.
Well, we've played 4 minutes, it's still 0-0, but Manchester United have just thudded the crossbar through Anthony. Prior to that, Fernandez clattered by his former teammate Anthony Elanga on the edge of the box. Good effort from Anthony, though. 18 yards out, crossbar still wobbling, still 0-0.
And the winners of that will take on the winners of Liverpool Southampton. in that quarter-final draw that was made earlier. These two, well, the winners will be at home to Leicester City. Matteo Joseph, left side of the penalty area. Anthony sends over the cross. Pirou had made a run into the box, headed out by Disasi. Ampadu will come forward on this near side. There was a push there by Enzo Fernandez. We can't have any complaints about that. Right in front of the assistant referee.
Well, it seems like he does, because he's waved his arm a couple of times at the linesman, but it clearly was a push in Ampadu. He just slipped it past him. Enzo Fernandez makes contact, Ampadu goes down. But that is one thing that can benefit Leeds from Pirou just being slightly deeper. As a more of a striker, he knows how to just time those late runs perfectly.
So Leeds are playing from left to right as we look. Jadon Anthony on loan from Bournemouth is going to take the free kick. Just a few yards in from the right touchline, both arms aloft. He waits. It's a right-footed delivery now. Comes out to the edge of the area. James will play the ball back. Gray, Archie Gray to Roberts. Now out to Anthony on this near side, the right. Back to Roberts. Ampadu, challenged by Fernandez. Referee David Coote says that was a foul. Free kick to Leeds.
Yes, them two come together again. I think he's right as well. David Coote. Ampadu just gets there.
Played out by Cooper. Gray already showed his versatility in that game against Leicester City on Friday night. As Roberts can't keep the ball in play on this near side, the right. Gilchrist wants to take the throw. 1-1 on 5 Live. Wolves lead Brighton by 1-0. Forest Manchester United is goalless in the early stages, yet to start at Anfield. Long throw will just go straight through towards Cooper from Alfie Gilchrist, and Cooper midway through his own half will run into a central area. Slight
change of formation from Leeds. Daniel James started on the right, he's gone over to the left, and Jadon Anthony's come on the right, and I wonder why, to be honest, because he was causing Gilchrist a problem, wasn't he? And I feel as though Gusto's probably got a little bit more pace.
Do you think it's... Here is Roberts coming forward on the right-hand side. Pirou, challenged by Caicedo, dispossessed.
He's so good at that, so good at break and play, Caicedo.
And now he comes forward. Of course, you'll have seen a lot of him from his Brighton time, wouldn't you? Here is Jackson making the run forward. Rodon has gone with him. Jackson, we've got the Chelsea equaliser. Caicedo forward ball. Sterling edge of the area. Sterling, he's shown too much there to Rodon. And a push in the back of Rodon. No. Referee David Coote says no. Roberts can clear. Only as far as Enzo Fernandez. Picks it up from distance, shoots. Spilt by the goalkeeper. Nobody was following up.
Well, he scored in the last couple of rounds, Enzo Fernandez, and he had an opportunity there. Better than his first opportunity earlier. Catches it. Couple of bounces just before Meslier. Meslier can't keep hold of it. Bounces out. If it was anywhere near him, it would have been a free shot, but luckily for him, no one following up.
It's a temporary switch actually now. Just look, they've just swapped back again.
They're back in.
Anthony on the left, James back in on the right-hand side for Leeds. Midway through the first half. BBC Radio 5 Live. Chelsea 1, Leeds United 1. Disasi marshals the ball safely out for a throw far side. He'll leave it, and Gusto will now take over the throwing duties. They've only had that one effort so far, Chelsea, though. That brought them level. Haven't created anything else in a quarter of the game.
No, they haven't. But it's difficult to break Leeds down when they're sat in. I mean, they are a strong unit. I suppose when you look at it, Daniel James had that lob shot against Rob Sanchez where he probably should have done better. So Leeds, without having much possession, have had the better chances.
Leeds actually have only conceded 1 goal in their last 6 away games as well before tonight. As Rodon passes the ball back to Meslier, and Meslier plays a high ball forward, and it will go all the way through to goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Where will we go then next on BBC Radio 5 Live? It's Celtic. Connie McLaughlin, you've had a goal.
I have. It's Celtic 1, Dundee 0. On his first start back after injury, Cameron Carter-Vickers, that man they've missed so much in defence, has just nodded home at the near post to settle the nerves inside Celtic Park a little bit. It's Celtic 1, Dundee 0, although they're checking it for VAR. Obviously they're checking it for VAR.
OK, thank you, Connie. Here is Sterling, left side of the area, infield to Jackson. Jackson hooks it back. Sterling, though, had come into an infield position, and then it's cleared by Roberts inside that penalty area. We heard from Eddie Gray on 5 Live Drive earlier. Of course, his son Stuart used to play for Celtic. Sadly, he passed away last month at just the age of 50, so I'd just like to send our condolences to Eddie, Linda and the entire Gray family. As Chelsea are in possession on the halfway line. 24 minutes played. Sterling infield, Mudryk back to Gilchrist inside the Leeds United half. 1-1 in this FA Cup 5th round tie. Disasi, every outfield player now is in the Leeds half. Disasi drifting out towards the right. Helped out by Madueke, but it'll go out for a Leeds United throw.
And as so many games here at Stamford Bridge this year already, so this season, it's all about patience for Chelsea and whether they can break down a deep, low block from Leeds. We've seen it once, a slick passing move cut right through the heart of Leeds. Can they do it again?
Leeds United supporters with a rendition of their anthem marching on together. There's Fernandez on the halfway line, diagonal ball along the ground, laid off by Sterling, forward of the centre circle. Mudryk now takes over in a central area. Jackson tries to give the ball back to him after dropping deep. Leeds have cleared the ball away with ease. Nobody will give chase. Very, very compact championship side here at Stamford Bridge. They've lost their last 6 visits to Stamford Bridge. In fact, they haven't won in 7 since a Stephen McPhail double in 1999. Both goals off that trusty left foot of his for the Irish midfielder. Madueke makes the run forward on that far side. Cooper will easily let the ball run out of play for a goal kick. Still, it remains tight.
Yeah, it is back to being a little bit cautious, isn't it? The affair, it sort of sparked into life with a couple of goals, and again we've gone to Leeds being resolute, hard to beat, and Chelsea trying to pick the lock.
Mauricio Pochettino must have been pulling his hair out when, that defensive error led to the goal as early as it did. Penalty, meanwhile, at Rugby Park. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, Ian Bonner, Barisic is handled just inside the box. A quick check as Danny Armstrong is about to step up. James Tavernier just encroaching. The referee just making sure that no one else does. Butland is inside the goal, so he'll step forward, you would imagine. He's just stepping up now. Well, there's another delay. I'm not entirely sure why there's a delay. Referee's had a chat with Butland. He's now come back. Danny Armstrong with the left foot, shoots and scores! Kilmarnock looking up 1-0. 11 minutes on the clock. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 0.
Another twist in the title race in Scotland with Celtic leading Dundee by a goal to nil. Assuming that goal stood after that VAR check, that would take Celtic a point clear of Rangers at the top. If Rangers cannot get back on level terms at Rugby Park, and that goal does stand, so Celtic do lead by a goal to nil. Cross from the right hand side, partially headed out, picked up by Mudryk. Mudryk with a shot, blocked by the legs of Meslier down at his near post. Mudryk picks it up on this left hand side, delivers the cross. Gusto waits, but beaten to it by Anthony, who heads the ball behind for a corner kick to Chelsea. Chelsea 1, Leeds 1, 27 minutes played.
And all of a sudden Mudryk just bursts into life, doesn't he? We know it's in there, but plays a brilliant ball from inside his own half out to Gusto on that right hand side, then makes the box and little step over, a burst of pace. I mean, his pace is absolutely incredible, isn't it? Angle was tightening all the time as he took it down the left hand side, and ask a question of Meslier, low down to his right hand side.
That's the voice of Glenn Murray on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds at the shed end. Chelsea have got a corner kick, far side the right, royal blue shirts and royal blue shorts. Mudryk with that shock of blonde hair to take it, deliberately pulls it out, falls to Madueke, hits it first time, and the ironic cheers from the Leeds travelling support will tell you that one off the training ground didn't quite come off. A left-footed effort from just under 25 yards out, placed badly wide.
I mean, that is such a hard technique from the right hand side, whipped in and having to let it roll across your body and trying to hit with your left foot. I mean, that is someone pulling that off in the highest. That's like a Paul Scholes effort in his pomp. Not Madueke at the minute.
Well, he did that, didn't he, Paul Scholes?
Yeah, was it Bradford?
It was. It was at Valley Parade. 29 minutes played, 1-1. Bradford, incidentally, are the the last lower league opposition to win here in a cup tie. January 2015, the last time that Chelsea lost a home game against lower league opposition. Phil Parkinson's side coming from behind to win by 4-2. In the 21 games since, Chelsea have won 20 and drawn 1.
And was that in the League Cup?
That record stand. The Bradford win was in the FA Cup.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And one of the greatest FA Cup shocks, I think you'll find. But this was that record of 20 out of 21 since is in both domestic cup competitions for Chelsea, who normally have got a good record of progressing from fifth-round ties. Indeed, they've won 13 of the last 15. But Rodon passes the ball back to Meslier. 1-1. Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Wolves are leading Brighton by a 1-0, and very, very soon they'll be underway at Anfield. The commentary on Sports Extra of Liverpool against Southampton. Rodon, the Welsh international, short of the halfway line, chips the ball forward. James makes the run in between. He's offside. They've made the run in between Chalobah and Gilchrist, centre-back and left-back, and have triggered the flag on this near side. Free kick to Chelsea.
That is one trigger point that I can see. Leeds keep pressing. He's getting Daniel James behind. He's got bags of pace. And, I mean, when you get the movement right and the ball into the area correct, then there's no stopping him, and he's a real outlet for Leeds, especially when they're pinned back for large periods of tonight's game.
Here is Sanchez. Robert Sanchez signed from Brighton for £25 million. He's back on the bench on Sunday, but he's been out since December with a knee injury. But back between the sticks, all in yellow, as Chelsea come forward on the halfway line. Now in field to Caicedo in the centre circle. Fernandes will give it back to Caicedo. Plays it out wide. Disasi to Chalobah on the edge of the centre circle. And Chelsea quite happy to play these short little balls in the midfield without really going anywhere, almost as if they're trying to draw Leeds United out.
Yeah, entice them out and just create that space between the lines further up the field where they can get their more creative players on the ball.
Mudryk hits a ball over the top towards Sterling, and it's touched behind for a corner kick by Roberts. We'll nip to Anfield, lead Lakeman.
Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Southampton have had the ball in the net inside the first 30 seconds. Mara on the end of a through ball, nice finish, but was a yard or so offside. Liverpool 0, Southampton 0.
Commentary on Sports Extra of that one. 1-1 here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, who had to come from behind to level, waiting to take the corner kick on this near side, the left. Madueke will take it, should be an outswinger. Sterling is available left corner of the penalty area. Mudryk's just outside the D. Leeds have got every pink shirt back inside their penalty box. It's Madueke with the outswinger, strikes the back of the head of Roberts, goes out towards Gusto, the Chelsea right. Level the area. Pirou is in front of him. He goes on the outside of Pirou with ease. Gusto's done well, enters the box, then closed down by Firpo. Behind for another corner kick to Chelsea on their right-hand side.
He has been a real shining light for Chelsea this season, Gusto. I think obviously Cole Palmer gets all the plaudits, but Gusto down that right-hand side as a fill-in for Reece James, I think, has been absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, it's certainly filled in well for Reece James, who's missed so much of this season. Corner kick then, Mudryk to take it far side the right. Chelsea playing from right to left. It's another outswinger, doesn't beat the first man, cleared by the legs of Anthony. Comes out to Gusto in a central area, and then Sterling will deliver the cross. In it comes now. Fernandes gets his head onto it, might drop to Madueke, tries to run forward. He's done well, Madueke, and then he hits the ball into the side netting with his left foot, and it's out for a goal kick. 1-1. We'll go to the City ground. Charlie Slater.
19 minutes gone, it's still 0-0 here, but Forest coming into the game now. You just had a good chance a few moments ago to test Onana after an Amrabat error at the other end. Rashford's gone close, Anthony's hit the crossbar, and McTominay should have done better with a header from 6 yards. Still 0-0.
That's on live on BBC One. 1-1 here, Glenn.
That was a big chance there from Madueke. He kind of pulls the ball he drops out of the sky. He controls it not very well and almost stumbles through a couple of Leeds players and finds himself one-on-one with Meslier, a tight angle, but he just goes for pure power and tries to find the top corner high up. I think a little bit more composure. Could have asked the question of Meslier.
That's Glenn Murray, and if my research is correct, 22 seasons as a player. Your best effort in the FA Cup was the semi-finals with Brighton 5 years ago.
It was, Daniel, yeah. Got beat by the eventual winners, Manchester City, and when I seen what happened in the final, when I think they put 6 on Watford.
That's right.
I was quite thankful I got beat in the semi.
Raheem Sterling scored 2 goals in that final against Watford. There's been another goal at Celtic, Connie.
Another goal for Celtic, another header from close range. The fans are delighted, especially with that news from Rugby Park. They're hoping that they end the night at the top of the table, but for now, Celtic 2, Dundee 0. Adam Ida, the scorer.
Yeah, and the news from Rugby Park is that Kilmarnock are leading Rangers by a 1-0 that would take Celtic back clear of Rangers just by a point. Livingston, incidentally, are leading Motherwell by a 0-0. Livingston 1, Motherwell 0. It was a Danny Armstrong penalty after 11 minutes, but Celtic now leading 2-0 at Parkhead. We've got about 10 minutes to go to half-time. Chelsea 1, Leeds United 1, and Sanchez to take the goal kick for Chelsea. It hasn't been a sparkling performance from the Premier League side yet, has it?
No, they've done enough to stay in the fixture, and they've not asked too many questions of Leeds so far. But you know what? After being 1-0 down, they'll be happy where they're sat right now.
Gray nudges the ball forward. Anthony's got space to run into, delivers the cross from the left. Poor clearance by Gilchrist. Comes out to Roberts, strikes Chalobah in the head. Cleared then by Gilchrist inside his penalty area. And then Jackson, with some fancy footwork, in the end is just closed out by Leeds United players. Piroux coming forward, challenge from Caicedo to win the ball back, as Glenn Murray was saying, so effectively getting a foot into the challenge. And now Madueke holding onto the ball and playing it back. Chelsea with Enzo Fernandez. 2 late stragglers arriving. They've missed 35 minutes of this game as they make their way to their seats right in front of us. And Chelsea with Madueke has got time to turn, running forward midway through the Leeds half. Central area now. Gustu provides the width on that far side, the right, and here he is. Diagonal ball down the line. Sterling with a cut back. Mudryk, brilliant play by Chelsea. And Chelsea have come from behind as they carved open the Leeds United defence. They now lead Leeds by 2-1.
Well, we said it about the first goal, we can say it about the second one. A brilliant passing move by Chelsea, slick, quick, direct. Eventually finds Sterling down that right-hand side. He has time, he looks up, he cuts it back into Mudryk's path, who just plays it into the far corner of the box, into the goal. Low, hard, to Mellier's right-hand side. Easy goal. It just looks so easy by Chelsea when they do get it right. They pass slow, and then all of a sudden, when they speed it up, when they go for the jugular, Leeds just can't live with them.
Very well worked by Chelsea. The Sterling cut back, and it was the first time effort from Mudryk, wasn't it? Right-footed. Nothing that Meslier could do about that.
No, not at all. I think it actually goes through the defender's legs. He just catches it, uses the pace that's already on the ball. It's the angle that beats the Leeds goalkeeper. But one player that I've been really impressed with in a Chelsea shirt is Madueke. Just the way he sort of controls the ball. He's got a real style about him as he dribbles, and he's a growing influence on this game.
Well, Mudryk, it's only his 3rd start in 2024. His last start was against Middlesbrough in that second leg of the League Cup semi-final on the 23rd of January. And he's just scored his 5th goal of the season as Sterling now picks it up. And for what was a rather ominous start to proceedings, with Leeds United taking the lead after 8 minutes, with 8 minutes to go to half-time, Chelsea lead by 2-1. Another goal at Celtic. Conor McLaughlin.
It's Celtic 3, Dundee 0. This time it's Matt O'Reilly. It was quite a strange goal. The ball came over the top. He brought it down with his foot and just sort of guided it into the back of the net. He's not going to care. It counts. Celtic 3, Dundee 0.
All of a sudden one can't help but think that those points are safe now for Celtic. It will all rest on what Rangers can do if they can come from behind as they trail to Kilmarnock by a 1-0. Wolves still lead Brighton 1-0 in a 7:45 kickoff. That's live on the iPlayer, live on BBC One. Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Incidentally, we will be live from the City ground on Saturday afternoon for Forest against Liverpool. During 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman from midday, and then followed by Luton Town Aston Villa at 5:30. Liverpool Southampton, an 8 o'clock kickoff in the FA Cup tonight, remains 0-0. Ball chip forward. Roberts will get there. Only presents the ball back to Mudryk, runs forward, backheels the ball. Gusto now takes over, and then he gives the ball away. And there is Ampadu just shielding that back four to play it forward. Talking of Liverpool, we'll go to Anfield now and Lee Blakeman.
Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Couple of big chances for the visitors. Sulemana, side foot shot inside the areas, just hit the foot of the post, and then Mara's forced a save from Kelleher. Liverpool 0, Southampton 0.
Piroux has been fouled, and referee David Coote has shown Chalobah a yellow card.
Has he been fouled, Deno? I'm not. I thought Chalobah got the ball, popped up. It was a coming together. He was clumsy, but Chelsea defender definitely got the ball there, and to show him a yellow card as well. Very, very harsh from the referee.
Yes, did get the ball. Still been booked though.
No, but that's maybe he's stamped down. He did win the ball, but he did catch the lead. I think it's a harsh yellow, that.
5 minutes to go to half-time. Glenn Murray with us here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Leeds with a free kick. Anthony to take it, midway through the Chelsea half. Chelsea have got quite a high line, just on the edge of the D. David Coote just blew his whistle there. He'd spotted a little bit of pushing and shoving inside that line. The blue and pink shirts intermingled. In it comes from Anthony towards the far post. Cooper got a nudge on that. Ampadu down into the ground from Firpo. And it comes to James on the edge of the 6-yard box. Couldn't get it under control quickly enough. And he's ballooned it off his right foot. Way, way, way over the top and out for a goal kick. 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, he has. It's found him at the back post. It was a wicked ball. It was hit into the ground. It skipped up high and then loops back into Daniel James's path, and it's sort of over the top of him. He hangs a leg out his right foot just to try and help it back on target, but can't quite manage it, and like you say, loops over the top. Another chance for Leeds, half chance.
Sanchez in no real hurry, plays it short out of defence. Chalobah will spread it to Mudryk on this near side. He had to use his pace to keep the ball in play to head it back in field. Still they're looking to play out from the back. Sanchez to Disasi, gets it forward to Chalobah, able to turn infield now to Caicedo, sprays it to Mudryk again. He's had to try and head the ball in play, and again he succeeds. Almost tumbled over the advertising hoardings. They're certainly testing his agility and his awareness tonight with those balls out to this near side, and then Sanchez goes long and Chelsea give the ball away to Leeds United.
Well, it ended up that his manager had to pick him up off the touchline there on the second one, and it's not exactly what Mudryk wants, I don't think, the ball up around his neck. He wants it at his feet where he can take people on.
3 minutes to go to half-time. Chelsea leading by 2-1. Cooper, Scottish international, out to that far side. See now, Archie Gray's filling in as a left-back and Firpo's ahead of him. Whether this is just a temporary thing for Leeds, but you'd mentioned earlier that Anthony and James had switched flanks. They're very flexible and fluid.
I think that's Archie Gray just rolling out midfield, trying to gain an advantage, push for Firpo, but listen, Chelsea are used to things like that.
Here is Mudryk, early ball to Jackson, intercepted by Rodon, steps forward. Ampadu just outside the centre circle now to Roberts. James has made the run ahead of him. His fellow Welsh international holds on to the ball, and another Welsh international in Ampadu asks Firpo to come forward. Now to the feet of Anthony. Back with Ampadu, forward. Gray couldn't take it in his stride. Scored his first goal for the club against Leicester on Friday night, albeit with the aid of a deflection, but still a proud moment as he continues the Gray dynasty, the generations of Grays who've played for Leeds. He's the great nephew of Eddie, he's the granddad of Frank, he's the father of Andy, and there's another one in the ranks too. His brother Harry is also in the academy. Quite incredible, really.
Well, the pressure's on their boys, isn't it, after when they make their debuts. I think it's just looking at the game down here, I think it's really important how Chelsea go about managing this now.
Anthony wriggles away from a challenge and shoots, and it goes across the face of goal. He scored a fine goal at Ellen Road against Plymouth, and that would have certainly been up there. He got away from a couple of challenges. He hit a right-footed effort from outside the area. Sanchez at full stretch, out for a goal kick, 2-1 Chelsea.
Just seeing a close-up of Jayden Anthony, puts his eyes to the sky and puffs his cheeks out because he knows that was quite close, and so does Rob Sanchez. He was sprawled right across his goal just in case that did have enough bend on it. But I was just saying about the way Chelsea go about this. It's important that they don't let this game drift. They need to put it to bed.
The distribution from the back tonight has been found wanting on occasion. Sanchez from the goal kick, a little bit like a poor golfer on the golf course, has completely shanked it, and it's gone out for a throw. From that throw, Leeds United are threatening. Anthony, Firpo on the overlap, just forced a fraction out wide, takes him out of the box on that left-hand side. Back then to Anthony. Gray makes the run left side of the box. Leeds trail by 2-1. Short triangular passing patterns, and Firpo miscontrols it, keeps the ball in play, plays it back to Anthony left side of the box. They work it back to Anthony, tries to get away from the challenge of Enzo Fernandez, and in the end it required Disasi to clear the ball out in front of that far side for a Leeds United throw.
Yeah, good play by there, patient, just trying to work their way into the box. Eventually getting there, but Enzo Fernandez just nips in.
There'll be a minimum of 3 minutes added time.
In the Edinburgh derby at Tynecastle, Hearts 0, Hibs 1 is a latest score. We're into 3 minutes of added on time here at Stamford Bridge in this FA Cup 5th round tie, where Chelsea lead by 2-1. High ball over the top. Mudryk makes the run forward. Rodon has gone with him. Ukrainian international right side of the penalty area. Jackson is short in field. Jackson now right corner of the box. Holds onto the ball, stands still, waits for the support behind from Gusto. In comes the cross now, cleared by Cooper. Out of play, it will go for a throw to Chelsea. 2-1 they lead. Gusto takes it quickly. Jackson back to Caicedo. Works it back to the edge of the centre circle for Disasi. Chalobah, Fernandez, Sterling. Nice gentle walking pace for Chelsea in stoppage time here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Chalobah, Disasi. Gusto stayed high and wide on that far side, and here he is, the French right back, getting the ball from Madueke. His ball has gone loose. Interception from Pirou. Joseph is with him. Pirou carries the ball to the edge of the area, enters the box and shoots, and the block comes in from Disasi behind for a corner kick. Again, lax from Chelsea.
Yeah, lax from Chelsea, and a lot of times Chelsea's athleticism has got them out of those troubles. We just mentioned down here on this near side to us, Mudryk having to head 2 balls in from bad passes from a defensive point of view when you're in possession, and just there we see Pirou just drifting. He's looking for an option. Eventually he decided he had to shoot, and it results in a Leeds corner.
There's been another goal at Celtic. Will be going there after this corner kick for Leeds United, who are looking to go in at half-time on level terms. In it comes now from that far side, the left. Nobody could really get a telling touch. It goes out towards Anthony on that far side. James now will lift this ball in and has overhit that, and it's easily into the arms of Sanchez. So, Conor McLaughlin, another goal.
Celtic 4, Dundee 0. This is the best of the night so far. The edge of the box, stays in Maeda, just had a bit of time. He curled it into the back of the net past Trevor Carson. I've got a bit of a suspicion they might have goal difference on their mind. It might come down to that. Celtic 4, Dundee 0.
Well, at the minute, they're going a point clear because Rangers are still trailing at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at 1, Rangers 0. In the FA Cup 5th round here, Chelsea lead by 2-1. Archie Gray's just put in a fine tackle on Madueke. Leeds United with Cooper at the back. Rodon. The 3 minutes have all but elapsed, and indeed there is the whistle from referee David Coote. So Leeds United got off to a great start. Mateo Joseph with his first goal for the club after a mistake from Chelsea at the back was punished. However, Jackson equalised 7 minutes later, and then Mudryk 8 minutes before half-time has put Chelsea ahead. Here are the thoughts of Glenn Murray.
Well, Chelsea have managed to show character, get a reaction out of themselves and come from behind here, and I can't help but feel Leeds have sort of just drifted into this position because they've had a number of opportunities, haven't done very well with them, and Chelsea have just shown their quality on a couple of occasions. They've cut right through Leeds, been clinical, and they find themselves behind at the break.
Yes, half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1. Steve.
Glenn, it will probably be kind to say that Jackson and Mudryk have had mixed seasons. So what a time for them both to find one really, really clean contact each in that first half.
Yeah, definitely. I think Jackson more so than Mudryk, just because of the timing of the goal, Steve. It was so important that they brought that game back level before this stadium, which was likely to turn. I think frustration was starting to show. The manner that they conceded the goal to Leeds, but then just in that instance there, it just showed how much quality and how much potential Chelsea have got. 3 passes from 3 top quality players, and it's in the back of the net, and Leeds have just stood looking at each other. It was absolutely brilliant play, and similar for the second one again, cutting through Leeds with relative ease. And I think that's where the Chelsea fans, for want of a better word, are frustrated, because they know this group is capable of so much more than what they see on a regular basis.
Glenn, Ian, we will leave you to your electro disco at half-time at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1. Second half commentary on the way on 5 Live Sport. Loads of great FA Cup action tonight, all of it available in one place or another with the BBC. On BBC One, Nottingham Forest at home to Manchester United. Charlie Slater.
Yeah, well, we've played 36 minutes. It remains Forest 0, United 0, but been an entertaining first half so far. Just a few moments ago, a brilliant bit of play from Diogo Dalot to turn around the corner, put a brilliant ball in at the near post. Scott McTominay flicking a header on from only around 3 or 4 yards out, but matched by an excellent save from the Forest keeper Matt Turner to put it round his post and behind for a corner kick. A reminder earlier on, Anthony hit the crossbar. McTominay should have scored with a free header from 6 yards out. Rashford went close as well at the other end. Onwunyi had Forest's best chance after an error from Amrabat. Onwunyi broke down the inside right channel, drew a good save out of Onana. Still 0-0 here at the City Ground.
That one was a 7:45 kickoff. The winners of that tie will be at home to the winners of this tie, which started at 8. Liverpool-Southampton. Lee Blakeman.
Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Southampton on the attack at the moment, Steve. Down the left, it's something they've been doing a lot of in the opening 20 minutes here. Mara's had a couple of chances for Southampton, nothing coming from them. Sulemana has hit the post from inside the area, and we've just seen Joe Rothwell curl wide from 16 yards out. All Southampton chances wise. Michael Brown.
Yeah, some big chances, really brave on the ball. Liverpool getting through at times, but no real quality in the final third. But full credit Southampton with all the opportunities, the calmness on the ball. You know, that's what the manager expects, even with lots of changes. They should be ahead, they should be leading this game, but can Liverpool get hold of the ball? They need more momentum.
Liverpool starting to get into it as the minutes tick by. Lewis Koumas on his debut playing wide left. Couple of lively bursts from him, but so far Liverpool 0, Southampton 0.
Another goal at Celtic Park. Connie.
Goodness gracious me, Celtic 5, Dundee 0. This is the type of performance these fans have been hoping for quite a while. Again, the architect to this, Alistair Johnson on the right hand side. He floated the ball over the top, steaming in at the left hand post was Greg Taylor. Not very often he gets on the score sheet. He's going to be delighted about that one. Celtic 5, Dundee 0.
So as it stands, Celtic going top of the table tonight, with Rangers trailing by a 0 at Rugby Park against Kilmarnock. Both of those games are around 8 minutes away from half-time. Back into the FA Cup to Molineux. Wolves versus Brighton, the winners to host Coventry in the quarter-finals. Tom Gale.
Wolves 1, Brighton 0, Steve. We're inside the final 6 minutes of normal time in the first half. Lamina's goal after 77 seconds, his first ever in the FA Cup. It's been a good response from Brighton. They've dominated possession on the front foot, trying to create. Ansu Fati, he's playing the false 9 role. He looks a bit too light for me. Their best moves have resulted in Adingra and Moda shooting wide when handily placed, and we've just seen Facundo Buonanotte head wide from 8 yards out. So Roberto De Zerbi will be encouraged by their response, but as it stands, just the one effort on target, and that's the goal from Mario Lamina. It's Wolves Leeds 1, Brighton 0.
Before second half commentary at Stamford Bridge, we're going to hear about Andy Murray, who has said today that he plans to stop playing tennis at the end of the summer, and we'll speak to our chief F1 writer Andrew Benson about the news that Red Bull team principal Christian Horner has been cleared following an internal investigation into his behaviour towards a female colleague. So that's all to come on 5 Live. By the way, the 5 Live boxing podcast is going on tour with Steve Bunce. In a few weeks, we'll record a special live show in Leeds with former world title holders Josh Warrington and Ebony Bridges. To join them, it's Tuesday the 19th of March. You can find out more and apply for up to 2 free tickets now at bbc.co.uk/shows and tours. Let's get the news on 5 Live with Johnny Freeman.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. Good evening. Police Scotland has apologised for how it handled the original investigation into the murder of Emma Caldwell 19 years ago. 51-year-old Ian Packer has been jailed for at least 36 years for killing Miss Caldwell in South Lanarkshire in 2005. He was also found guilty of physical and sexual violence against 22 women. One victim, Magdalene Robertson, has waived her right to anonymity.
I wasn't believed. I wasn't believed by my family. I wasn't believed by anybody around, apart from a few friends. So what that did to me is I had to really believe in myself. I knew what was happening and I had to stay sane.
French authorities have confirmed one person has died and 2 are missing after several rescue operations took place in the English Channel. Around 180 people were found on board a number of small boats earlier on today. The government has indicated it will appeal a decision by Belfast High Court. Judges ruled conditional immunity for crimes committed during the Troubles in Northern Ireland is in breach of European human rights laws. Thousands of farmers have been demonstrating outside the Senedd in Cardiff against proposed changes to farming subsidies. The Welsh Government has insisted it's listening to farmers' concerns and says a consultation is ongoing. Abby Reeders from the National Farmers Union, she's told us there are many concerns from those in the industry.
There's a host of reasons why they're here today, but I think the headline figures are, with the new farm support scheme, there could be up to 11% loss of jobs directly on farms, 5,500 people, loss of nearly £200 million off the bottom line of farm business incomes, and a loss of 122,000 grazing livestock units. People are scared and people are angry.
And the estate of disco legend Donna Summer is suing the rapper Kanye West, accusing him of incorporating one of her songs on his new album. Court documents show that his request to sample the 1997 hit I Feel Love had been denied.
5 Live Premier League Sunday.
We're headed to the city.
We're heading into town.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Ready to take them down. The streets are painted red.
We're marching in the blue.
Time to beat them in their own backyard.
What, you? A year on from the treble.
We taught them how it's done.
The boys are ready. We've got this sorted.
Mate, this is the one. Welcome to Manchester. We'll always welcome you in.
Welcome to Manchester. May the best team win.
The Manchester Derby, Sunday from 3:30.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport with Steve Crossman.
On 5 Live. Listen on BBC Sounds.
Big second half ahead at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea lead Leeds United by 2-1 in the last 16 of the FA Cup. We're just going to step away from the football for a moment. Big news coming out of Formula 1 today. Red Bull Racing boss Christian Horner has been cleared of any inappropriate and controlling behaviour towards a female colleague following an internal investigation. So he will remain as team principal and chief executive of Red Bull F1. Let's speak to the BBC's chief F1 writer, Andrew Benson, who's in Bahrain ahead of the season opener. Andrew, a lot of pressure was on them to conclude this investigation quickly, but are we going to learn anything about the investigation beyond the fact that Horner has been cleared?
Well, not from Red Bull, Steve. They've said that the report's confidential and contains private information from the people involved, and they won't be commenting further. The problem for them is that the information that was directed against Horner, the allegations, is out in the public domain in some ways. A newspaper in Holland has reported on it a couple of weeks ago. So it could be problematic for them if someone who's got that information decides to go further with it.
So at this point then, in terms of what it means for Red Bull Racing, from now, is it business as usual for them and Christian Horner is back? Or are there still going to be these cracks that we've heard about between the team and head office, for want of a better phrase?
Well, business as normal is the phrase that Christian Horner was using even before this allegation was concluded. It doesn't feel like that within Formula One at the moment. There's lots of questions still flying around. Largely, what are the details of this situation? Why haven't Red Bull, if everything's in the clear, why haven't Red Bull given any information about it? Lewis Hamilton was talking today about the effect that this could have on the sport, and it'd be interesting to see how it's dealt with. And we don't yet know how Red Bull's sponsors are going to react to it, particularly Ford, the US car giant, which is Red Bull's engine partner in Formula 1 from 2026. Earlier this week, their boss sent a letter to Red Bull complaining about the way they'd handled the investigation and about the lack of transparency. Are Red Bull going to give Ford that transparency? If they don't, what will Ford do?
Andrew, thank you very much. BBC's chief F1 writer Andrew Benton. The new Formula One season begins tomorrow. You can listen to live coverage from Bahrain on Radio 5 Sports Extra, and BBC Sounds Free Practice 1 gets underway tomorrow at 11:30. Qualifying takes place at 4 o'clock on Friday. The race is on Saturday at 3. Andy Murray has said he does not plan on playing tennis past this summer, but he is hoping to play at the Paris Olympics. Let's hear from our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller.
It sounds like this is going to be the end, Steve, and this summer is going to be the end. It's the most comprehensive he's been in spelling out his plans for the future, even though he's not given us much more in the way of detail by saying that he's not likely to play past this summer. Yes, it gives him a little bit of wriggle room, but when I spoke to him at the start of the year in Brisbane, he was saying, yes, it's possible that this is the last time I start a season, but I've still very much got the passion for the game and I would like to play on longer if I possibly can. I think probably it's the realisation that he can't be competitive in the way he wants to be against the best players in the world. Take today, for example, in the second round in Dubai, he was beaten by Hugo Humbert 6-2, 6-4. Didn't play too badly, but the fact is that on most occasions now, someone like Humbert, who's just inside the world's top 20 and is 25 years of age, is likely to be too good for Andy Murray, given the physical limitations that he has.
We've got Liverpool playing tonight, Russell. We spend so much time at the moment talking about Jurgen Klopp's long goodbye. What might Andy Murray's look like?
Well, the summer could be a long summer potentially, couldn't it? Because it's very hot in New York at the US Open at the end of August, beginning of September, and that's where he won his first Grand Slam title. So if he does have a mind as to when ideally he would like to bow out, then I don't think we should rule out the possibility that he goes through to the US Open. He's mentioned he'd like to play in the Olympics. I mean, Wimbledon is the obvious one, but if you bow out at Wimbledon, then obviously you're not going to be playing in the two events that follow it. I think in the meantime, and he says he's not going to talk about it anymore, which is going to be challenging for him and for people like me, especially as I'm due to speak to him in Indian Wells last week. I can barely not address the elephant in the room, but I think he's going to play the events that you expect him to play. So he'll play Indian Wells, he'll play Miami, and then it sounds like he will be playing at least a couple of clay court events ahead of the French Open, which he wants to play one last time. He thinks that actually having a little bit less preparation for Wimbledon than he has done in recent years shouldn't really make too much difference. And understandably, if this is going to be his final summer, he wants to play at the places where he's thrilled fans for so many years.
Tennis correspondent Russell Fuller. I think we picked the right FA Cup tie to be at tonight. Only 4 goals in total across the board. 3 of them with us at Stamford Bridge and none with you at the City Ground, Charlie Slater.
No, but it hasn't been for the want of trying. Yes, Forest 0, Man United 0. United with the best of the chances. Anthony hit the bar inside the first 5 minutes. Scott McTominay's tested the Forest keeper Matt Turner twice with headers. At the other end, Taiwo Awoniyi drew a good save out of Andre Onana. Goalless, but by no means dull at the break, Steve.
Anything doing at Anfield, Lee Blakeman?
Steve, still Liverpool 0, Southampton 0. Liverpool starting to move through the gears a little bit. Gakpo shot straight at the keeper from the edge of the area. Easy handling for Lumley in the Southampton goal. And then Bobby Clark's just had an effort. Had he done something, that would have brought the house down. Slipped, it went wide. But Michael Brown, Liverpool starting to get into it a little bit now.
Yeah, a little bit, but full credit. Southampton just had a move back to front. So many passes, tried to get in down that left-hand side. A good block in the centre, but they're so brave. They are taking risks, but they're getting joy, moving Liverpool all around, and Liverpool there just not getting that control, not getting hold of it as expected. But interesting game, really good sort of first half an hour or so. We need a goal though.
6 changes from the cup final Liverpool, 8 changes for Southampton from the side that lost to Millwall at the weekend. 0-0 after just over half an hour.
Rangers need a goal as well. Half-time at Rugby Park in the Scottish Premiership. Gavin Wallace.
Yeah, they certainly do. Half-time then, Steve. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 0. Yes, do not adjust your set. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 0. Danny Armstrong's perfect penalty on 11 is the difference between the two. John Lundstrom handled inside the box. A quick VAR check, and the winger stepped up with the left foot and put it well beyond Jack Butland and goals. It's been a pendulum swinging one way to the other. To be honest, it could be 2 each at half-time. But the question is, what could this mean in the race for the title? Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 0.
A potentially big goal in the race to stay in the league as well. Livingston lead Motherwell by a goal to 0. Livingston, who went into the game on 16 points. Ross County, second bottom, have 23. Other scores, it's Hearts 1, Hibs 1 in the Edinburgh Derby, and Aberdeen 0, St Johnstone 1. The half-time whistle has just gone at Molineux in the FA Cup. Tom Gale.
1, Brighton 0. Steve, Mario Lemina's first FA Cup goal after 77 seconds, the difference. But Brighton have been the better side. Chances for Moda, Adingra and Buonanotte will both encourage Roberto De Zerbi, but also frustrate the head coach in equal measure, given none of those efforts were the goalkeeper. Jason Steele was at fault for Lemina's scrappy strike, but the keeper did well with his only other piece of serious involvement. A loose back pass played in Bellegarde one-on-one. He was off his line quickly, clattered the Wolves man, but did win the ball at half-time. Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
And we're back underway at Stamford Bridge. Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, haven't missed anything. Chelsea 2, Leeds 1. I'm just chuckling to myself because a fan in front of Glenn Murray asked him earlier for a selfie, and I moved out of the way. He didn't want my ugly mug in the way, and it looks like I'm headless.
George snuck in the end there, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he photobombed it, the producer. So neither side has made a change. Chelsea in their royal blue shirts and shorts and white socks are playing from left to right as we look. Leeds are in their all salmon pink. These are the two sides. Sanchez in goal for Chelsea. Gusto, Disasi, Chalobah and Gilchrist is the defence. They just break off because Firpo delivers a cross and it's claimed by Sanchez. Madueke, Fernandes, Caicedo, Sterling, Jackson and Mudryk. Leeds United with Meslier in goal. Roberts, Cooper, Rodon and Firpo. Gray, Ampadu, Anthony, James, Pirou and the goal scorer Joseph, Matteo Joseph, who gave Leeds United the lead after 8 minutes, but Jackson and Mudryk in the first half responded for Chelsea. Mudryk just took a little bit of a blow, but he's back on his feet. And for Leeds United, they've been backed by a crowd of over 5,000 that have travelled from all over, really. I noticed there's a St George's flag with the Leeds United emblem that says Shropshire on it. Their vast support comes from all areas, not just from West Yorkshire. But they'll have a go in this second half because after taking the lead, they never really capitalised on that.
No, they seem to drift through that first half, and I think they'll be slightly disappointed with the going in behind, especially with being in front to begin with. But one person I've been really impressed with is Archie Gray. He's got bags of potential, and I mean, plays beyond his years. He's got real quality, the young Leeds man.
Well, he does. He's still only 17 as well. He turns 18 on the 12th of March. But it's his awareness, the fact that he wants the ball as well, and new long-term deal that he signed with Leeds last month as well. So certainly a bright future for the teenager as Gusto waits to take this throw on the right-hand side. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Chelsea leading Leeds United by 2-1. Gusto on this near side. Chelsea now playing from left to right as we look. So they're attacking the Matthew Harding stand here at Stamford Bridge. As Chalobah out to the shaven-headed Gilchrist. Passes the ball to Disasi. Disasi, who has played in all 11 domestic cup ties now for Chelsea. Chelsea, though, give the ball away. Leeds United up towards Matteo Joseph. Caught by Caicedo, who's going to get a yellow card. Another goal at Celtic Park. Conor McLaughlin.
It's Celtic 6, Dundee 0. And the captain, Callum McGregor's got himself on the score sheet. The ball was cut back to him. He was in the middle of the box. And he still had the work to do. He turned right for a shot into the back of the net. We're still playing in the first half here. It's probably about a minute or so before half-time. It's Celtic 6, Dundee 0.
Thing is, though, as well, that Connie mentioned before about the goal difference, that means that Celtic now are actually ahead of Rangers on goal difference, and they'll be clear by a point if Rangers can't come from behind, as Kilmarnock still lead Rangers by 1-0 at Rugby Park. 4 minutes into the second half in this FA Cup fifth round tie. Busy night of football both in England and Scotland. Caicedo breaks up the play once again. Ball to Enzo. Left him with work to do as he was closed down by James. Just might have picked up a knock there, James. He's wincing a little and hobbling a fraction, and the free kick goes in favour of Chelsea.
Well, they're both hobbling off, aren't they, Enzo and James? Just coming together there. Enzo gets there first. James is committed. If there was any malice in the challenge, but I never saw one for both players, both stretching.
Gusto passes the ball back. Disasi. There is an element of control that Chelsea have in this FA Cup tie now. Mudryk can't get hold of the ball 30 yards out from the Leeds goal. Cleared by Roberts. His previous 4 appearances have all been as a substitute since that loan move from Turf Moor. Caicedo, time to pick his man. Finds Gusto off the chest of the right back near side. Infield to Madueke. Passes the ball back, does Gusto. Head just drops a fraction there. Gilchrist on the halfway line, urged on by the home support here at Stamford Bridge. Fernandes. But they look like that they're playing almost within themselves at times, Chelsea, now that they've got the lead.
Yeah, and this is what they can't do, I think, and what they've done too many times in the Premier League this season is just let games drift. I refer back to a game against Fulham that they were 1-0 up in full control. It finished 1-0, but still just games left in the balance for too long. They need to have a little bit more killer instinct about them. I'm sure there's a desire from Pochettino and his staff to see this game often, get into the next round and welcome Leicester.
Ball tidied up by Ampadu, back to his goalkeeper Meslier, back to Parkhead. Conor McLaughlin.
Half-time, Celtic 6, Dundee 0. 6 goals, and more importantly for Brendan Rodgers, a performance more aligned with the champions. 3 headers from Cameron Carter-Vickers, Ida and O'Reilly, and Maeda, Taylor and McGregor with another 3. If results stay the same, they'll go back top at the end of the evening. Celtic 6, Dundee 0 at half-time.
Yeah, half-time at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 0, and half-time now in the Edinburgh Derby at Tynecastle. Hearts 1, Hibs 1 is the score line there. Incidentally, Spain are the first Women's Nation League champions. They've beaten France 2-0 in the final tonight, so the World Cup winners and now Nation League champions for Spain. Muy bien. 7 minutes into the second half. Chelsea 2, Leeds United 1. Sterling collects the ball midway through his own half. Infield now to Enzo. A curling forward ball for Gusto, who likes to get forward. Firpo is with him. Junior Firpo, after an injury-hit season, believes he's just starting to find his best form in that Leeds United defence again, as Madueke links up with Sterling. Madueke drifting out towards that left-hand side. Jackson goes to the left side of the penalty area. 7.5 minutes into the second half. Leeds, though, win the ball back. James now just outside his own penalty area. Pirou plays it back. Ampadu with a square ball. Bit of room for Firpo if he wants to run forward, but he was almost trotting, wasn't he? He wasn't racing forward. And then Anthony back to Ampadu. And it's a steady pace by Leeds as they come forward to Anthony. Now running on his toes. Accelerates a little bit. Ball goes infield behind Sterling. It'll be collected by Roberts, the right back. Stands still midway through the Chelsea half. Pirou to Ampadu, closed down by Mudryk. Cooper on the halfway line. Firpo 10 yards inside the Chelsea half, gives it back to the Scottish international. Ampadu makes himself available. The Leeds United fans generating the atmosphere as they chant away to their heart's content towards our left-hand side in both tiers of the shed end. And the ball then given away. I'll probably be hoping as well that it doesn't necessarily go to extra time. The last train from King's Cross is 11:33 tonight. Jackson forward for Chelsea, stopped by Cooper. They're making a little bit of a dash across London, hoping to catch that train back to the north.
What time is it? No, 11:35. Did you say the last
11:33, I think it was.
11:33. Tight.
Certainly would be if it went to extra time, although aided, of course, by the 7:30 kick-off, I guess. In the 8 o'clock kick-off, there's been an opening goal. Liverpool-Southampton, Lee Blakeman.
And what a goal scorer on his debut. Lewis Koumas has given Liverpool the lead, cutting in from the left, on his right foot, low into the bottom corner, and right on half-time, the son of Jason Koumas has just put Liverpool ahead. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
There are a number of proud fathers watching their sons excel for Liverpool. You had Jayden Danns, Bobby Clark, and now you've got Jason Koumas' son there with the goal. Liverpool's young guns. And the winners of that tie will take on the winners of Nottingham Forest, Manchester United. That still remains 0-0 at the City Ground, live on BBC One. Wolves or Brighton, where Wolves are 1-0 up, will take on Coventry City. Forest United against Liverpool, Southampton. Chelsea or Leeds will take on Leicester City at home, and Manchester City will play Newcastle United. Leeds looking for an equaliser, out towards that far side. Sliding Gilchrist, Alfie Gilchrist, the young left-back, prevents it from reaching James, and out it goes for a throw. As Firpo is down, there's going to be a stoppage in play, Glenn Murray.
So far in this opening knockings of the second half, Leeds have had more possession, and it's been Chelsea that have been sort of sat in a low block inviting that Leeds pressure. But when they do win that ball back, they just burst with such power and pace, and it's almost too easy at times for them, isn't it? It was a straight ball through to Jackson. He got way down that left-hand side. Can't help but feel he should have done a little bit better. It's so easy from Chelsea just to get right into that Leeds back four when they're not sat in that structure and that block.
11 minutes into the second half. Glenn Murray with us here, 5 Live and BBC Sounds. James just plays an early ball into the penalty area from the right, but there was nobody there. Up it goes to Madueke. Firpo gets the foot into the challenge. Pirro will play it back. This now is with Gray. Rolls it out towards the right-hand side. Roberts had made the run ahead of James. Instead he sends the cross to Roberts' dismay. And Chalobah comes back and clears, and it goes out for a Leeds throw.
Better from Leeds though. They seem a little bit more up for it, playing with a little bit more confidence, more pizzazz in their game, and their fans can sense it.
Roberts waits to take the throw on the right-hand side. There's not a great deal of movement, and eventually he finds Mateo Joseph, stopped by Caicedo. He's broken up play a number of times tonight, hasn't he, Caicedo?
Yeah, I mean, he's an expert, but he's got to watch his step now. He's on a yellow card, can't be dangling legs anymore.
Yeah, the 2 yellow cards have both been shown to Chelsea players, Caicedo and Trevor Chalobah. Caicedo again to Fernandez, gives it away under pressure. Archie Gray just knocks it short and simple, square. Firpo comes forward from left back, edge of the area. Anthony's to his left. Anthony's cross will fall towards Gray. Gray does well to win the challenge. Now finds it. Firpo with a cutback. Joseph is there. Cleared by Chelsea. Had Gray had a shot, it wouldn't have been too dissimilar to where he scored against Leicester on Friday night. They work it back out to the teenager. Leeds United looking to try and get back on level terms as they trail by 2-1. 12-13 minutes into the second half. Anthony up against Gusto. Goes on the outside. Gusto, good challenge. Down to the ground he goes and still wins the ball. Gusto did well. Plays it now to Caicedo. Will try and hold off Mateo Joseph. Does so with his strength. Plays the ball forward. Jackson now lifts it towards Sterling. And Sterling shuttling run forward. Left-hand side. Comes in field now. The return from Jackson might still fall back to Sterling. When the initial ball went to Sterling, it didn't quite fall for him. He looked upwards, and the lucky ricochet, had he been aware, he might have realised that it had come back to him. Gray again has done well in the midfield for Leeds.
Absolutely brilliant from the young man. Dribbling out of his own box, past Mudryk and Sterling with ease. He's got such confidence. He's a joy to watch.
Leeds United with Roberts in field. Ampadu hoists the ball high out wide. Anthony controls it. Left side Sends over the cross, downward header! Matteo Joseph! He's second of the night, and Leeds United are back on level terms. Such an inviting ball in from the left-hand side, and Joseph wasn't going to miss that one from close range. Just before the hour mark, back all square at 2-2.
Arms outstretched in front of the away fans. He's lapping it up, the young man. What a finish. Absolutely brilliant. It's Jayden Ante on this left-hand side, and he cuts back in on his right foot, and he just feels a ball in-swinging cross into that back stick, and it's Matteo Joseph that just runs up the last defender, meets the ball perfectly, nods it back across into an almost empty net, onto the line, into the back of the net, and wheels away in front of those Leeds travelling away fans, and nothing short of what they deserved, Eno.
It was a ball, it was an inward cross, arcing its way towards the far post and running in. Downward header. And Leeds United's travelling support are celebrating again. They're back at 2-2 with half an hour remaining of normal time. Half-time at Anfield. Lee Blakeman.
Liverpool 1, Southampton 0. 18-year-old Lewis Koumas with the goal on his senior debut. Shot from 20 yards, deflected slightly on its way through. Well taken goal. Pats on the back for him from all of his teammates as he made his way down the tunnel for the break. Half-time, Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
Chelsea are making a double change. They've brought on Ben Chilwell, who goes to left back. That's for Gusto. So Gilchrist now will switch to right back, and then Gallagher is replacing Madueke. So they are the two changes. To the City Ground now, Charlie Slater.
4 gone here in the second half, still 0-0, but Forest with an excellent chance to take the lead. Elanga finding a one year about 12 yards out with a shot low, but Onana makes a good save to his left. Still 0-0.
Forest is on live on BBC One. Liverpool Southampton will be on Sports Extra. On the iPlayer is Wolves 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And they are the voices of 5,366 Leeds United fans, some of them swirling their shirts around their heads. The white, blue and yellow scarves are being opened up as well, as now they're coming forward again. They've got designs on maybe trying to take the lead again. Pirro with his effort that's deflected behind for a corner, and Leeds United are on top at the moment, 2-2.
They are indeed, and Matteo Joseph's that man again, gets turned and plays a brilliant ball through to Pirro, who opens up on his left foot. He's in two minds. Does he cross it? Does he have a shot? He decides to try and find that far corner and drag at his left foot. Chelsea's defence are equal to it, but it's a Leeds corner.
Anthony wanders over to the acclaim of the travelling support on that far side. Chelsea have got everybody back. BBC 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 2-2 here at Stamford Bridge. A place in the quarter-finals is at stake. Anthony, corner kick, right-hand side. Ampadu tries to let it come through. Edge of the area. Flick out by Firpo. To Anthony, right side. Firpo will go on the overlap. Not required. Anthony with a cross. Stands it up. Headed out by Chalobah. Back to where it came. Anthony's ball towards Gray. Oh, a little slip by Gray. Still recovers. Oh, he's done well. Done ever so well, Archie Gray. It's hard to believe he's 17.
Honestly, that was absolutely magic. His last man for Leeds. He nips past Jackson and then just does a little shimmy, goes past Sterling. He just doesn't realise the stakes, the young man, does he?
Here is Roberts. His name now is being sung by the travelling support. Leeds United are dominating the ball. This is a good spell for the Championship side.
Well, we said after the first half, we felt as though the game just sort of drifted, and Leeds didn't really it was good Chelsea play what put them in front on a couple of occasions, but Leeds didn't really react, did they? They were almost given the goal as well that they scored, but the second half they look a different entity. Definitely they look like they've come to play this second half, and it'll be interesting. We've seen obviously Gallagher come on and also Chilwell come on, so positive changes from Pochettino. I'll be interested to see what Farke does now.
Meslier almost does a Cruyff turn to get away from Jackson. Ampadu. At times Chelsea look a little sluggish. Here is Matteo Joseph, far from sluggish. Forward ball blocked by Disasi, goes to ground, rebound picked up by Ampadu to Dan James. Caicedo then holds off James. Caicedo though dawdling, almost caught in possession. Gallagher, forward ball. Jackson now latches onto him, edge of the area. Mudryk goes ahead of him, flag stays down. Mudryk with his back to goal, inside left channel of the penalty area. Cross blocked. Remember, it's got to be settled on the night. Went to extra time, and penalties last night at Ewood Park between Blackburn and Newcastle.
Chelsea get themselves into another good position. It's Jackson down that left-hand side, but good position, bad choices is the story of Chelsea's season.
Chalobah to Chilwell. Disasi now inside his own half. Gilchrist, this versatile young defender, signed from QPR's youth system at the age of 10. Making just his third start for the club and only his 11th appearance, but showing his versatility, the fact that he can play left back, right back. Here is Disasi over the halfway line. He comes with a strong run out of defence. Gilchrist with a shaven head. Back then to Sterling. Infield to Caicedo. In a cup tie that has fluctuated. Leeds taking an early lead. Chelsea pegged them back. Then the Premier League side led by 2-1 until Joseph, with his second goal for Leeds United, has brought it back at 2-2.
I'm just looking down, the substitutes warming up. Cole Palmer's there, that's Chelsea's big hitter, and I'm also looking at Gnonto and Somerville for Leeds. I wonder when they're going to be introduced, because that will be a shock to the system for Leeds. Pace, power, directness, then we've got a game on our hands.
Jackson with the turn. His ball in field was diverted away from its target of Gallagher by a stray boot of Ampadu. Cleared by Roberts, the Leeds United right back, up towards Chalobah, plays it forward. Brought under control by Fernandes on the halfway line. Forward ball goes behind Jackson and will run straight through to Meslier. And 24 minutes remain. Chelsea 2, Leeds 2.
We're in for a cracker of the last half an hour, Deno, here, I feel. It's in the balance.
Certainly interesting, that is for sure. Here is Ampadu.
Don't sound too excited about it, Deno.
Ball out towards Firpo, chested forward. Anthony with the return ball to Firpo. Firpo with a cross, stopped by Disasi. Gilchrist inside his penalty area, clears it. Cooper there. They had two to deal with, just Nicholas Jackson, and with the help of Archie Gray once again. And as he played it back, he then demands the ball back. I always like to see that from a young footballer.
Well, he just plays like someone way beyond his years. His understanding of the game is exceptional. His bravery, just that youthful exuberance, isn't it? And when you've got 5,000 Leeds fans singing your name, then it's a positive.
Ball played forward by Meslier. The Leeds United anthem reverberates around Stamford Bridge. The travelling support backing that team to the hilt. 2-2. Meslier out from the back. Rodon passes the ball forward. Roberts high up on that right-hand side. James passes the ball in field. Pirou to Firpo. Firpo takes it away from Sterling. Showed too much to Fernandes. Gets a foot into the challenge. Jackson, though, can't find the run of Fernandes. And there was Rodon with Leeds United, and they'll go back to Meslier. Jackson will run towards the Leeds keeper. Wasn't the best of clearances. It will reach Mateo Joseph. Now out to Anthony, in field to Gray, over the halfway line. Leeds United playing with confidence.
I mean, too many times the ball goes up to Nicholas Jackson. He gives it away needlessly, sloppily, has a couple of touches, doesn't quite see the run, just breaks down way too often for when the ball's in the possession of the Chelsea striker.
Chelsea's 10-match unbeaten run at Stamford Bridge was ended by Wolves, and they were beaten by 4-2. And at the minute, drawing 2-2 with a Leeds United side that are dominating at the moment, certainly in terms of possession. Midway through the second half, so we have a quarter of this tie remaining. Otherwise, it will be extra time if there are no further goals. 2-2 at the moment. Meslier goes long. Disasi brings it down off the chest. Will hold off Mateo Joseph. Keeps the ball in play. Sterling challenged well by Cooper. Loose ball picked up by Firpo. Now to Anthony, near side the left. Leeds United in all pink, playing from right to left. Back then to Ampadu. He can run forward. No pressure for Ampadu at the minute. Now he holds off Gallagher. Then he loses the ball. It'll fall to Sterling. Sterling challenge, stepping out of defence was Cooper. There was a foul there on Sterling. It'll be a free kick to Chelsea. A goal at Rugby Park. Gavin Wallace.
Yes, Ian, there has indeed. It's Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 1. 55 minutes gone. James Tavernier with a free kick, a worldie of a free kick from 25 yards out. Will Dennis had absolutely no chance. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 1.
Thank you, Gavin. And that means that they're both level on 68 points, but Celtic, with their goal difference, certainly been boosted by that 6-0 scoreline at half-time against Dundee. 2-2 here. 20 minutes remain. Mudryk got round the back of Roberts and then just showed too much to Meslier.
Oh, he did. Roberts just got caught underneath the ball. He looked like he was running treacle next to Mudryk. He's absolutely electric, and unfortunately his first touch was just too big, and it invited Meslier out to just stifle the danger.
I mean, at this stage, you probably couldn't call it, could you?
Well, you've got to be... From what I've seen in the second half, Leeds have absolutely dominated. Not just through possession, I think through impetus, through balls into the box, obviously goals. They're winning the second half 1-0. And you would fancy, if it did remain 2-2 until the 90th minute and extra time, you would, I suppose, fancy Leeds. Chelsea's legs will get tighter and tighter.
The goal difference is actually level at the minute, Celtic and Rangers. Celtic are top, courtesy of goals scored. That's how tight it is. Gallagher in the centre circle. Under 20 minutes remaining on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Gilchrist now as a right back. Held up by Anthony, snapping away at his heels. Ball goes in field. Caicedo's got to get there before Pirou. Now it's with Disasi. Back towards Chalobah. Chilwell. Waits, 6 yards inside his own half, out towards Mudryk. Jackson lays it off towards Mudryk, run forward by Enzo Fernandez. They haven't really posed too many problems second half, Chelsea, have they? No, not at all. They don't really seem to be on the same wavelength. They haven't offered much against this wave of Leeds attacking and possession and domination. It's they've not really sort of come out this second half, in all fairness. There was a couple of free-flowing moves in the first half that were outstanding, but so far we've not seen that second half of Chelsea. Good throw down that right-hand side, and actually was eventually just the persistence of James. He gets a corner kick for Leeds United. Yeah, and all the noise is from our left-hand side and the Leeds supporters, but one or two Chelsea fans starting to voice their opinion in their ones and twos, and they're not positive ones, they're not. Well, Leeds United, on the balance of what we've seen, are the team most likely to score so far, with 18 minutes remaining. Chelsea have been extremely flat this second half. 2-2. Leeds United, far side to right, corner kick. They're playing from right to left. This should be an outswinger. James to take it. Right-footed, indeed it is, it goes deep over the head of Rodon. Collected by Anthony, plays the ball back. Gray, slightly forward ball towards Roberts, work back out towards James, holding that right touchline, now level the area, sends over a good ball, hasn't been dealt with by Chalobah, now it has. Oh, it almost dropped to Matteo Joseph. Well, I think it actually does drop to him. It's the best chance of the game. Chalobah goes to head, it misses it completely, and it just hits the young man in the middle of the 6-yard box, and he just can't bring it under control, and all of a sudden, within a second, the chance is gone. Here is Anthony for Leeds United. Chelsea can't even get hold of the ball. Leeds go back. We're going to go back to Rugby Park. There's been a third goal of the night, but to who to, crucially? Gavin.
Rangers, Ian, it's went to Rangers. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2. Tom Lawrence has scored on 58 minutes. Kilmarnock couldn't clear their lines. Lawrence found himself a bit of pace, opened up his body and put it beyond Will Dennis. So that should put Rangers towards the back of the table. Kilmarnock 1, Rangers 2.
It will as it stands. They'll be back as a case of as you were, really. 2 points clear ahead of Celtic, who are beating Dundee by 6-0. Chelsea are going to make another double change. Levi Colwill is coming on. It's Gilchrist who's going off, And then the other change is going to be Cole Palmer, who's coming on, and Raheem Sterling, who is going off. We'll go back to the City ground. Charlie Slater.
Well, we've played 62 minutes. Manchester United on the attack here. Still 0-0. Bruno Fernandes fakes to shoot. Now hits it with the outside of his right boot, and it flies and curls just over the top of the crossbar of Matt Turner. Big shout a few moments ago for a penalty for Manchester United. Marcus Rashford sandwiched between Murillo and Felipe. United suggesting that Murillo didn't make enough of an attempt for the ball. Referee waved it away, still goalless.
So Colwell has come on for Gilchrist. He will play now on the left of the centre of defence alongside Disasi. Chalobah moves to right back. Chilwell is at left back. So that back four has been jigged about 2 or 3 times tonight as a result of the substitutions. Palmer for Sterling. Palmer's ball almost trying to play in Mudryk on that far side, but Roberts was tucked in, the right back. It was a narrow back four, and it allowed Leeds United to come forward with James on that far side, the right. His ball in field. Pirou able to turn. Anthony, Firpo on the overlap if required. Anthony though shoots, takes a deflection, gathered in by Sanchez as we go to Molineux and Tom Gale.
We're just approaching the hour mark, Ian. Wolves 1, Brighton 0. Injury concerns for Gary O'Neill. We've had a lengthy stoppage. Top scorer Hwang headed straight down the tunnel. He was replaced by Pedro Neto. Brighton going a lot more direct since bringing Danny Welbeck on at half-time. But it is Wolves 1, Brighton 0.
And here's an update from Anfield with Lee Blakeman.
1, Southampton 0. Southampton with a big chance at the start of the second half. Ball in from the right. Sulemana unmarked, back post, denied by Kelleher's legs. Liverpool 1, Southampton 0.
Commentary of that is on Sports Extra. Palmer with the cross, hits the chest of Cooper. Did you detect a little bit of booing when Sterling came off?
Oh, I can't say I did, to be honest. Then I was too invested in what was being said elsewhere, I think. But I mean, looking at Chelsea's substitutions, they've got Chilwell on, Gallagher, Palmer, and Colwell. Speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's the Chelsea manager blinked first, and he's the one that needs to change the course of this game, because at the moment Leeds look more likely to be heading into the quarterfinals.
Well, the other thing, the other 4 substitutes now left are all youngsters for Chelsea.
Well, he's brought his big hitters on, hasn't he?
So
he's played his cards.
Maurizio Pochettino watching and standing up in that technical area with his arms folded, with his big dark puffer coat down below. Daniel Farke will certainly be the content of the 2 managers. However, with that tight turnaround, Huddersfield Town away Saturday lunchtime, not necessarily sure that the Leeds United manager would fancy an additional 30 minutes of extra time. He'd want this settled in the next 13 minutes.
He will. I think both managers will, in all honesty. But looking at it, Anthony and Daniel James, they've done well enough. But I just think it must be so tempting for Daniel Farke to be like, Somerville, Nonto, come on, get ready. We're going to go try win this one. But he's keep. Oh, actually, as I look down, who's he got his arm round? Somerville, and on his left-hand side is Nonto.
So there is a sign that Leeds United want to win it in the 90. So Leeds United with the Italian international Nonto, who's a real live wire. Meanwhile, cross from Mudryk is a hanging ball. Jackson gets onto it. Challenged by Firpo. Jackson has stayed down. I don't think the referee will allow play to continue, because he doesn't necessarily know that it could easily be a head injury, although I think it's just, well, he's holding his head, but he's also holding the base of his back, and referee David Coote in that sense
got to play on.
Can't take the risk, can he?
Well, it's not a head injury then.
Well, he's got the player holding his head, he's not to know that. But
it looks absolutely fine to me. It's when Leeds bring these 2 players on, it'll be very tempting for them to go guns out all at it at Chelsea, but they've got to be careful that they just keep that balance right, because Chelsea will punish them if they overcommit.
So who's going to come off? So Somerville is coming on, and it is going to be Joel Pirou who is coming off. That's the first of the changes. And then the other change is going to be Dan James, who is going to make way. Of course, he did have that lone spell at Fulham, didn't he? In the not too far from here in West London. 23 appearances and 3 goals, but Nonto is coming on for him. as Daniel Farke makes the change, and they're also, I think, the Leeds bench trying to get the attention, is it, of Patrick Bamford, who's warming up. One of the substitutes has just been told to step it up as well. Might be Sam Byram. But Leeds are likely to make another change in the next 11 minutes. Of course, extra time is starting to loom here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Chelsea 2, Leeds United 2. Leeds have certainly had the better of the second half. Chelsea below par. Fernandes. I don't think Melié's had a shot to save second half.
Second half he hasn't. Made a couple of good ones first half, but no, second half he's doing a lot of stretching, jogging around, keeping himself warm for when he does have to make one.
Of course, it's all about just getting through to the last 8.
I'm wondering, I'm looking at Meslier and I'm wondering with his strip, I think it's white, and is he a white or grey short? And he's got purple socks, and I'm wondering if they just forgot the socks and they've just thrown those purple ones on. They just look so random, don't they?
It's certainly an off-white if as jersey as he clears does Meslier. He'll have to keep his concentration levels high. 10 minutes remain. 5 Live, BBC Sounds, 2-2. Caicedo goes square. Colwill, forward ball. Gallagher out to Mudryk, far side the left. Jackson waits just inside the penalty area. In comes the cross. Jackson couldn't get there with his head. Firpo chests it back to Meslier.
Yeah, Mudryk, he's put that ball into an area. He's asking his striker to get there. Nicholas Jackson doesn't. Cooper just blocks him off. A clever play by Firpo. Good awareness. Chests it back to his goalkeeper.
Meslier in no real hurry to take it. Passes the ball out to Roberts, the right back, short of the halfway line. Somerville, Nonto passes the ball back, and now it's with Rodon. Chelsea at the minute
void of ideas.
They are, and there's not a great deal of intensity from them. As the header from Disasi strikes Matteo Joseph up in the air, strikes the shoulder of the Leeds player, and then he hooks it in the direction of Anthony, and he might get there, and he does. And then there's a slip by Chalobah, and Anthony cuts inside, and Anthony with a curling effort, right-footed over the top, goal kick, 2-2, 5 Live.
No, he saw his name in lights. Jaden Anthony, as he sleeps, he cuts inside Caicedo, and he's looking at that far left-hand top corner. Just gets a little bit too much power and swerve on it. And up and over it goes again. Jaden Anthony looking up to the stars.
Well, it hasn't been brutal in the sense of the nature of the challenges that were going in. The last time they met in the FA Cup, that was indeed that 1970 final replay at Old Trafford that Chelsea won. But for Chelsea supporters, it's been brutal in another sense, that they're wincing in another way. Because this has been an uncomfortable watch for Chelsea.
Well, we said when they were 2-1 up, it's about how they manage the game, and they've let too many games this year just drift, and this is exactly what they've done here. Let it drift, and Leeds are back in it.
Firpo, forward ball, Matteo Joseph. Somerville, little touch there to Firpo. Somerville has got 2 options to his right. One of them is Roberts. Nonto is also ahead of him. In comes the cross. Matteo Joseph couldn't get there. Anthony made a run in behind him. Leeds United, it looked promising, couldn't take advantage, just broke down at the wrong moment. Gallagher now forward. You can hear the rise of the dissenting voices inside Stamford Bridge as they groan as another pass goes astray. And now there's a foul on Somerville, and it'll be a free kick for Leeds United. Remember, Rangers are now leading Kilmarnock by 2-1, but there has been another goal at Celtic. Conor McLaughlin.
It's the magnificent 7, as they call it around here. Celtic 7, Dundee 0, and a really special moment for the Celtic youth player Daniel Kelly. His first goal for the club. It was a bit of brilliance as well on the left-hand side from Maeda, and he stuck it into the back of the net. Celtic 7, Dundee 0.
And Motherwell have equalised at Livingston. Livingston 1, Motherwell 1 is another latest scoreline in the Scottish Premiership. Still level at Tynecastle between Hearts and Hibs, and Rangers are 2-1 up after coming from behind at Rugby Park. And the FA Cup 5th round ties elsewhere. Live on BBC 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 0. Wolves lead Brighton by a goal to 0. That's live on the BBC iPlayer. And Liverpool are 1-0 up at home to Southampton. Live on Sports Extra, an 8 o'clock kickoff. 6 minutes remaining of normal time. Chelsea 2, Leeds United 2. They were playing for penalties, Mauricio Pochettino said at the start of extra time on Sunday. Surely they're not playing for penalties with normal time still remaining, but they don't look like a team that looks like they're trying to win this game at all. They are so passive.
Yeah, they are passive, and Leeds are just coming at will now. Nonto's on the ball, and this has been the story of the second half. Leeds just in the ascendancy constantly, and it's just whether Chelsea can hit them on the counter-attack, string a few passes together like we've seen.
Caicedo wins the ball in the midfield, he runs forward and passes it to Jackson. He only had the one option, there was no real width for Caicedo. They've lacked creativity in this game tonight. They've been devoid of ideas.
There's a lot of strutting around down there, Deno.
They're struggling.
They are struggling.
They're toiling.
Leeds have got the bit between the teeth.
Just over 5 minutes remain. Will there be a winner, or will we go to extra time? Nonto in field. Nonto was prevented from getting the return ball by Chilwell. That'll be a free kick to Leeds United.
Yeah, clever play by Chilwell there. He doesn't want to get caught in that race, so he blocks the player.
They've got 4 games in 6 days in the Championship after this. From Saturday, Huddersfield, Stoke, and Sheffield Wednesday the following Friday. The games will come thick and fast. Daniel Farke will have to try and juggle his pack, because priority back to the top flight, or promotion is their priority, should I say. But if they were to get through, you'd be guaranteed a Championship side in the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
Funnily enough, it'll be their arch rivals at the top of the Championship.
It would. A team that they came from behind to beat on Friday night. I'm sure that the EFL bosses will be hoping that a Championship side in some respects doesn't get through to the FA Cup final. It's a day before the scheduled Championship playoff final at the same venue on the Sunday. That'll create a bit of a headache for Rick Parry and co. 4 minutes remaining. Still got Coventry, Leicester and Leeds United in the competition at the moment. Here is Chilwell forward. He's got a bit of room to run into. Mudryk on that far side, Mudryk on the left. Mudryk pulls it back. Enzo Fernandez takes one too many touches. He gets the corner kick, but he was never going to get the shot away to trouble Meslier, because every touch he took forward, he reduced the angle.
Yeah, it was getting closer and closer. In fact, he done well to keep the ball in, to be honest. Chelsea in the Leeds half, which has been rare this second half.
3.5 minutes of normal time remaining. Chelsea are leaving it late. It's 2-2. Corner kick far side the left in front of the Matthew Harding stand. Chilwell to take it. It's an outswinger. Chalobah gets his head onto it, drops to the edge of the area. Palmer waits for the ball to settle, lifts it back in on the half volley. Chilwell strikes it, blocked, out behind for another corner kick to Chelsea. Best spell of Chelsea have had all second half.
Without any doubt, a couple of corners on the belt end, and it's Cole Palmer with a good bit of vision finding Chilwell at this far stick, resulting in another corner.
Should be an outswinger from that far side the left for Chilwell to take it. 2-2. Player has gone down on the edge of the area. That was Jayden Anthony. Referee David Coote has blown his whistle.
No, I actually think it's Nonto and Disasi. Little wrestling match there. Disasi throws the Leeds man to the ground. I actually thought it would have been a free kick, but the corner hadn't quite been taken.
That's a mismatch, isn't it, if ever there was one? The diminutive Nonto against the towering Disasi. Chilwell, the corner left-hand side. It's another outswinger, headed out by Joe Rodon on loan from Tottenham. Clipped back in by Palmer. This might fall to Colwill. Couldn't get it out from his feet, and by the time he had, it was snaffled up by Meslier diving forward. And Mellier's thrown it out towards Nonto. Nonto hits the ball over the top towards Somerville, but it just kicked on away from Somerville. Sanchez out of his area, plays it to Chalobah. Plays it infield to Caicedo. 2 minutes remain. 2-2. Leeds win the ball back in the centre circle. Crescencio Somerville to Nonto. Lays it off. Somerville gets away from the challenge of Gallagher. Somerville still going. Somerville then tries to pass it to Nonto. A misplaced pass. Peters out for a goal kick. 2-2. Time running out. We're heading for extra time.
Yeah, it seems that way. A couple of minutes left, but Leeds United brought Somerville and Nantes on, and just seem to have lost their way slightly when those two have come on. Haven't quite found that groove yet, but when they get on the ball they do look dangerous. Just haven't got them on the ball often enough so far.
Mauricio Pochettino revealed that he had a supportive text from Todd Boehly after the League Cup final defeat. He then revealed that he met the co-owner Vedad Iqbali on Sunday for positive face-to-face talks. That he's calling for time with questions about his future, but the Chelsea supporters certainly are not reacting positive to the display that they've seen so far as another misplaced pass goes. And the owners haven't shown that they're prepared to back managers so far, bearing in mind that they've dismissed both Graham Potter and Thomas Tuchel.
Goodness me, I thought you meant financially for a second.
No. Well, they've backed them, what is it, over £1 billion in 4 transfer windows. But
I nearly dropped my microphone.
No, I wasn't meaning that.
Because if anyone's backed their managers, they have. I personally think that Mauricio Pochettino should without doubt keep his job. It's a project and they need to be patient here at Chelsea.
But the owners haven't shown that they're willing to be patient as Enzo Fernandez picks it up. The growing voices of concern for Chelsea. Finds Gallagher with a finish. Right at the end. A sigh of relief inside Stamford Bridge, because Chelsea have toiled and they've laboured in the second half. But Gallagher with a goal in the 90th minute might have just seen them squeak their way through to the quarter-finals as they lead by 3 goals to 2.
And for all that money Chelsea has spent, it's a homegrown talent. Conor Gallagher gets on the turn, hits the back of the net when Chelsea needs him. He's stood up, he's been counted, come off the bench, and he showed Pochettino what he's missing. A massive goal for Conor Gallagher and Chelsea Football Club, and all of a sudden the air in Stamford Bridge has just eased a little bit.
Well, before that, some of the supporters have been turning the air blue, but now it's the royal blue of Chelsea with that strong run. And Gallagher did ever so well to take it on the turn into feet from Enzo Fernandez, and then right-footed, get the ball past Meslier. Good finish. He squandered a number of opportunities on Sunday against Liverpool at Wembley. He didn't squander that one. And Chelsea now are eyeing a quarter-final tie at home to Leicester City.
It was a beautiful move, wasn't it? Gallagher, touch, turn, shot, all in one motion, but it's Firpo that just comes closing down on the inside rather than on the goal side, which is the first rule of defending.
Leeds United, we will see how much stoppage time there will be. We have an additional 4 minutes to be played here at Stamford Bridge. The Chelsea supporters are finding their voice now. They're cranking up the atmosphere. But this has been a sluggish display. And the victory, well, it's just getting through at times. If they are to reach Wembley come the final, they might just look back and they'll forget how hard fought this win has been, as Jackson chases the ball on the left and keeps the ball in play, and then again it goes astray. But it hasn't been convincing from Chelsea.
No, that goal has papered over the cracks. The second half display has not been good enough by any means. Leeds have been without doubt the better team second half.
Don't forget we're on air until 10:30. Gordon Smart will take over from Steve. Liverpool Southampton. That's on Sports Extra at the moment, with Liverpool still leading by a goal to nil, and the 2 7:45 kickoffs goals have been at a premium. Wolves lead Brighton 1-0. Forest Manchester United remains goalless, and there's going to be a change here, and Jimmy Tuurainen is a young Finnish youth international, and it's Mudryk who is coming off as the 19-year-old Finnish youth international makes his Chelsea debut in added on time. A blonde for a blonde. And a nice ovation for Mudryk. Hasn't had too many starts this year. It will do his confidence the world of good as Chelsea lead by 3 goals to 2. And we're inside the last 60 seconds of injury time here at Stamford Bridge. And so it remains that Chelsea will have won all 6 FA Cup encounters against Leeds United, and Leeds will have lost their last 7 visits to Stamford Bridge. But this isn't Leeds United's priority. Huddersfield away, Stoke at home on Tuesday, and Sheffield Wednesday away next Friday will be their aim to get back. So they'll be back at Stamford Bridge next season as a Premier League club. But certainly they've acquitted themselves very, very well, Daniel Farke's side, as they brace themselves for what will be their first defeat of 2024.
Yeah, they will leave Stamford Bridge a little bit disappointed, but it will free them up to try and reach their main objective this season, which is to be coming back here next year as a Premier League side.
They can take pride in their performance, just as the Leeds United supporters can, as they sing out once again the Marching On Together, the Leeds United anthem. But by my watch now, we are way past the 4 minutes of added on time, as the Chelsea supporters rise to their feet and try to drown out the noise coming from the Leeds United support. Good atmosphere inside Stamford Bridge for these two sides, whose two supporters despise each other. Such is the rivalry. Chelsea 3-2 up. Ampadu with a back pass to Meslier. David Coote still doesn't have the whistle in his mouth as yet. Meslier will have to go long if Leeds United can summon up one final chance here at Stamford Bridge on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Back it goes. David Coote continues to let play continue. We're now past 5 minutes of added on time. Ball out towards Firpo. Firpo to Anthony, left corner of the area. Anthony spreads play. Roberts, little slip, gets himself back to his feet. Still play goes on. Now or never for Leeds United. Nonto right hand side. Cross takes a deflection. Hasn't been properly dealt with. Behind for a corner kick to Leeds United. Is there time for late drama? Will Meslier come up? I remember Paul Robinson scoring a couple of goals in his career. 1-4 Leeds against Swindon Town at Ellen Road. And Meslier has got the call. And Leeds United now 6 minutes of added on time. Tick by. The Championship side looking for a dramatic equaliser. Corner from the right, over the head of Cooper. If Cooper could have connected, it would have been a free header. And that is the last chance. Chelsea are through to the last 8. And a home tie with Leicester City. But Leeds United certainly gave it a really, really good go. A hard-fought win for Chelsea. Glenn Murray.
Yeah, I thought Leeds United were outstanding second half, but Chelsea just did enough. Took homegrown Conor Gallagher to ease their way into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and boy did Chelsea need it, did Maurizio Pochettino need it. Leeds will take heart from it, but it's not what they wanted. They want to be back in the Premier League next season, and they can fully focus on Championship football now.
Gallagher's winner in the 90th minute means they'll take one step beyond into the quarter-finals. Steve, 3-2.
Very good. We're going to join commentary very, very shortly of Liverpool 1, Southampton 0 in the FA Cup. Let's just wrap up first what we've just seen at Stamford Bridge. Glenn Murray, first of all, Chelsea's season saved in a tie that for a long time they were hanging on in.
For that second half they were, Steve. Yeah, it was season saved. Well, quite pivotal, yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, it was really drifting away from them. They didn't really seem to have much idea, but then on the other hand, the couple of goals that they scored in the first half was so slick and the moves were so good, and it just showed how good they can be. And I can understand the frustration of these fans in front of me, because the talent that this group possess and the excitement of this project at Chelsea, but just seeing it come together and for it to go wrong so many times, but then you get a glimpse of what it could be. I can understand where their heads are as a fan base.
And so much talent in that Leeds team as well. 2 goals for Joseph, who's a player that a lot of people listening wouldn't have known that much about, and an absolutely magnificent performance from young Archie Gray.
Well, if you were looking at the two strikers that were here today and you were looking at Jackson and Matteo Joseph, I think you'd probably take Joseph, a willing runner, held the ball up well, and when he got his opportunities, he scored them. And that young man you mentioned there, Archie Gray, was absolutely outstanding. Do you know what? There's not many times that I go to a football ground and enjoy watching someone play, but I enjoyed watching him tonight. Just the way he plays, his bravery on the ball, his youthful exuberance around the place, him demanding the ball at such a young age. It was a real joy to watch him.
Glenn, Ian, thank you for the time being. Glenn Murray and Ian Dennis will be back with us after 10 o'clock in that half an hour where we're going to wrap up everything that's happening.